So they did decide to attack us, which really, really bad move on their part. I mean, besides the fact that we outnumber them, um, like they're attacking a settlement, which I don't know, just the general rule of thumb is the defenders, generally speaking, will have the advantage. So, like historically speaking, so normally the attackers will have to attack with like overwhelming force. Um, so just really not a very uh, tactically sound decision on their part. But that's fine. We're gonna wipe them out, and we'll get some maybe get some money, get some experience for the Legion, for the General. It's just all around win-win. So normally I wouldn't. A battle like this, especially one where we're outnumbering them, I wouldn't do a video for it. But because in my last video I said that I would if they attacked. And I just feel like we haven't had like a decent battle video in a while, because the overwhelming majority of the battles we've been fighting the past couple turns have all just been rebellions, and those are really boring. um, I mean, not saying this one's going to be particularly exciting, but at least it's a little bit bigger of a battle, just if nothing else, due to the size of our forces. So we'll get to it, and this is probably one of my favorite settlements to defend. Obviously, the one with the bridge is my all-time favorite, just because it's so easy. But I really enjoy this one. That one with the amphitheater in it is probably my least favorite one. I hate that map, but this one I like. Actually, the one with the amphitheater is not my least favorite. It's the map. I'm trying to think. The the settlement in south eastern British Isles, um, where like the Jutes and the Geats and the Danes and all them like normally attack. That map is probably my least favorite. Um, and it might be tied for least favorite. I don't know. I really do not enjoy that map with the amphitheater on it. So their entire army is set up over there, which I am fine with. So what we're going to do is we'll just go ahead and we'll put 2 here. I don't think that they're going to come flanking around, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. We won't put all 5 there. We'll save a guy in reserve just in case they end up breaking down that barricade. We can throw a unit of spears there to block that off. So we could do this a couple different ways. After I get done setting our guys up here, uh, I'll kind of go over some of the different ways we could do this. It's not the prettiest, actually. I'll just kind of clean this up a little bit. I don't know if it really makes any difference, but I don't like having gaps. Oops. Um, I don't like having gaps in my formations. So I try to get everybody, all nice and neat, and try to. Now, one of the things I will say I've noticed is if you see me, I get kind of like real picky about making sure that everybody's online. Um, and there's not like units sticking up in front of them, or units sticking out in front of other units. Um, I, for how we're set up right here, it's not it wouldn't be a big deal, but there are certain circumstances where it would be a big deal or a bigger deal, because for whatever reason, one of the things that I've noticed is the units that might be pushed forward a little bit will take casualties faster. And I don't know if it's just because those models on the end can get like flanked, because like how the combat works, to my understanding, is it's done on like a per model basis. So if we zoom in here, if this one model is, let's say, actually hold on, let's say this guy, yeah, this guy right here, if he's right up here, then not only is he fighting guys, like people in the front of him, but there could be models to the side of him that are attacking him in the side, which that would count as being, essentially being flanked for that model. And so what happens is that model will die faster, and then the other models behind him will move up, and so those models on the flanks will always be dying faster than everybody else that's just kind of staying in line in formation. And so that unit that's sticking up a little bit will suffer more casualties, in my experience, just because of that. So that's why I always try to make sure everybody's nice and straight, and lined up. I don't know if it's like 100% true, but that's just what I tell myself. All right, and then one of the things we're going to do with the Legio is we're actually going to put them. We're going to put them on the barricades or on the walls, just because as their units come by, they're going to throw their javelins. They're not going to get a ton of kills. They might get 5 or 6, but that's essentially free kills for us. Because trying to like just leave them back here and then just throwing them into melee combat, what's going to happen is if we do that and they end up throwing their javelins, they're going to hit our guys in the back. So I don't want to do that. I would rather them go ahead, use up their ammunition, even if it's not like super effective. Like I said, even if each of these gets 5 kills, hey, great. Especially if it's like on a unit like their their general or some of the cab. Hey, 5 kills. That's nothing. It's nothing to shake a stick at. It's pretty good, especially if they're not taking any damage. Let's see. So what's going to happen is once they use up their javelins, I'm going to bring them back here and just kind of put them in stationary testudo and just wait to throw them in. I might even send them, if the enemy doesn't come this way, I might even send them out this way to flank them. The possibilities are endless. Okay, so this should be a pretty easy battle. Not at all saying that we're not going to take some casualties. I mean, we're going to, but we should be able to completely wipe them out. The only thing that would cause us to not wipe them out is our scout Equites can only chase down, one unit at a time. So if a bunch of their units start routing, um, as we've already found out, these guys, the mercenary step mounted bows, suck at melee combat. They're not gonna kill anybody. We could chase them down um, with these horse archers, and they're not gonna do anything. So really, the only unit that we can chase the broken enemy units with is the scout Equites. So we don't want to kill them so fast that large portions of their army start routing. Um, I'm fine with taking heavier casualties if that means that their units route like one, maybe two at a time, just to give our scout Equites time to chase them down and to wipe them out. Because we've already a couple times in this campaign have had it where multiple units are routing at once, and then enough of them get away that the army still survives. And yeah, next turn we can just go and attack them, but I'd rather just wipe them all out here as opposed to chasing them down later on. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started then. So the only units here that are going to give us, or I would say that would give us the most amount of trouble, are the horse archers. Horse archers, they have awesome um, missile damage, and so even in stationary testudo, if they just sit back and they just fire on our guys, it's not going to be a good day for our guys. So actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to have 2 units up here. Hopefully the barricade holds. If not, we're just going to go ahead and set these guys up right here. Alright, we're going to pull these guys back. So we should have pulled our archers back a little bit sooner, but it's okay. Looks like a lot of their units are going to get away, but oh well. So now all we can do is just try to take out as many as we can. This is why generally in my armies I like to have about 4 units of cav. I'll have maybe 1 unit of shot cav, um, and then like 3 units of melee cav, and the whole point of the melee cav is just to be able to chase down routing units. I hate when they do this. where you tell them to, you know, like chase down a unit, and then they don't. They just stop. It's so frustrating. I mean, all in all, we didn't take that many casualties. Most of our casualties were archers, and that was just due to me not pulling them back off the barricade as soon as I should have. Um, and then these guys, they just took a lot of fire from their horse archers. But I mean, it's still, in my opinion, a very healthy and combat effective army. So I'm not too worried about it. That's also one of the reasons why I hate facing against armies with a lot of cav, because it's going to be very difficult to wipe those armies out, because the cav will break, and 95% of the time, in my experience, um, enough of them will get away that the army isn't destroyed. I think that's good. I think all of these are below 10, which I don't know exactly what the number is that they have to get down below in order for them to be wiped out. Um, but 10 is the number that I came up with. That I came up with. I don't know if it's how like accurate it is. Like if it's like, oh yeah, you know, you don't have to get them below 10. If you can get them below 20, then it's fine. But very rarely have I seen a unit get below 10, um, and survive. Except for like sometimes the general. Um, if you don't kill the general in the battle, I've seen it where there's like one unit left in the general's unit, and it's the general. And if you don't kill him, like he's like the army is is still exists. It doesn't get destroyed. And also some of the times I've seen it with like onagers, where there'll be like six models left in the unit, um, but for whatever reason it doesn't wipe them out. But anyways, that's that battle. Nothing too nothing too special. Um, I mean, we lost more guys than I would have wanted. You know, almost 500, but most of them were our archers. Uh, so I'm not too disappointed with that. I'm not like super excited about how it turned out, but all in all, like we still won, like, you know, decisively. And next turn we're gonna be able to. Dang, cat's knocking over boxes. Next turn we're gonna be able to wipe them all out. So I'm gonna end this video, and if there's another battle that's, you know, interesting, I'll go ahead and make another video of that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the beginning of next turn.